welcome back to Rubberhead Garage. Today, we got a fun one for you. I got this friend who has his old Mercury coupe, cool little hot rod, 350 small block, 350 transmission. It's a little riot. He's putting it in the world of wheels. Got some work needs to be done to it. We got 3 days to get this thing ready because our truck's coming here to pick this thing up. We got lots of work to do, so we're gonna get right to it. Roll the intro. What is that? Is that a camera? Are you watching this right now? Why aren't you subscribed? If you're watching this, you need to subscribe right now. Cause when we hit triple digits, aka 100 subscribers, which we're only 40 away. We're gonna jump the shitbug. If you don't know what the shitbug is, you need to stop right now and look at some more videos. But subscribe. Let's get to 100. Subscribe! I said subscribe! Sorry about that. I have no idea who that was. You know, this guy came into the garage with an axe, started screaming at my camera. He does it all the time. I just usually cut it out, but he's kind of scaring me lately. You should listen to him. Because I heard him, he was threatening to, go to people's houses if they weren't listening to him and smashing up their cars. You just listen to him. But anyways, Thomas here, Rubberhead Garage. We're back. This video, a little bit different than the others. We got this 47 Merc going to the car show, as you noticed in the intro there. We're not in Rubberhead Garage. We're at a buddy's place there. Whatever it is. This car needed to go to this car show. It had 3 days to have a few things done to it. Rather than me describing what had to be done, let's just cut back to Thomas and show you what I had to do there. That's good. Alrighty, so what I'm standing beside, this is an old school Mercury coupe. It's a little bit of a hot rod. It's got it's a pretty damn cool hot rod. It's got a 350 small block in it, 350 transmission. It's got tons of power, tons of jam. I think it's got a 4.9-inch under the rear, big rear end setup in there. Beautiful interior. Same with the paint. This thing's gorgeous. Gary, who owns the car, he got this thing wet sanded, clear coated, and it's got a bunch of ceramic coating wax on it. This thing is gorgeous. So he wants to put it in the World of Wheels car show. It still has a lot of stuff that needs to be done. There's a couple plates in the interior that's got to go in. The entire wiring harness under the dash is a mess. Whoever built this car did it 100%, finished tidying everything up. So we're going to do that. We're going to finish up that wiring harness, put the last little pieces in the interior in, maybe clean up a little bit under the hood. I'm not sure. See if I can convince Gary to let me get under there a little bit, tidy it up a little bit more. We got some brakes to finish up. One of the calipers were leaking, so he's off right now actually getting a new caliper. Hopefully we can bleed those, get that on tonight. But besides the point, we are going to start off right away under the dash of this thing. We're going to get all the existing zip ties and everything cut, drop this wire harness right down, and you know what? Let me take you off the stand. So here's what we have to work with. This is the interior of the car. Just look at this thing. It's immaculate. It's gorgeous. I love the gray on green. It even has gray door seals to match the interior. The steering wheel's wrapped. It's beautiful. But this is what we have to do right now. We have all this wiring or a nest to figure out, tidy up and tuck. Like, we got power window wires here that we don't even have power windows for. So I might end up just following those back and snipping them or taking them out completely of the box. I'm not 100% sure yet. We got a bunch of random stuff going on. So we need to get underneath this thing desperately. But before we do that, we're just going to cut all the zip ties holding the wiring up, bring it all down so we can see what we have to work with. So let's do that real quick. So I've been working away under the dash here. Got starting to figure out where I want all the wires to go and stuff like that. The the next big hurdle is I want to kind of move this switch panel up, fuse panel. So it used to be just right here. Man, the lighting's horrible. There we go. It used to be right here, but we're going to move it up there. So we'll just take this bracket, flip it upside down, stick the fuse panel up there. And also when I'm doing that, I'll take the wiring harness, which is this loom right here, and I'll put it over top of this whole brake pedal assembly here. So then the wires are a lot higher and more tucked, and that'll clean up a lot of this. So we're going to do that real quick here, and we'll come back at you when we got this unbolted and the fuse panel bolted up top there. So as you see from those few short clips there, the wiring is atrocious under that dash, and it all basically stemmed to where the fuse box was and how the wires were routed underneath that brake pedal assembly. So my idea was I was going to take that fuse box and just flip the bracket around and put it up higher and move the wires going the other way around the brake pedal assembly. Well, that was also a mess. The wires weren't long enough, so I had to cut the bracket and move it closer inboard, which honestly was better because now the fuse panel is on top of the steering column, so you can't even like kick the fucking thing. It's beautiful. But there's a bunch of things. The wires were going through each other, so it wasn't a straight loom anymore. I had to end up moving a bunch of stuff and untangling. It was a mess. But here's some footage of it all finished up and the wiring harness moved over top that brake. So I had moved the fuse box from, it used to be down here in this hole, and then so I drilled some new holes, cut the bracket off, and boom, that's way up there. Now it still looks a little messy in here, but that's because mainly this wiring harness and this guy right here. But once, if you imagine these guys gone, tucked away, it looks a lot better. Start cleaning up on this side. These are the cruise control wires, so I just have them up behind this panel here. I'm not going to do anything else with those. Those can stay there because from the top you do not see them. This wire still needs to be moved. Because I put the fuse panel up there, I was able to move the wiring harness. It used to go under here. Actually, it was like all in here, the mess, but it goes up and over now and it's all tied neatly together. Yes, that is the radio. Got lots of work to do there still, but it's actually not that bad. It's more like there's like 3 wires that are too long, which makes it a rat nest. So once I trim those down, I'll be able to tie everything together nice and clean. That'll look great. So I'm pretty much done here for the night. So just like that, end of day 1, start of day 2, or night 2, you could say. And this is when panic mode started to set in, because I realized it wasn't after day 3. It was literally like 1 in the afternoon the next day that the car was going to be getting picked up and ready to go. So I stopped filming because I was like, shit, I need to get all this done, because it wasn't that bad anymore. I got most of it done, the majority done on Monday there. Tuesday, I just didn't film. I got all the work done, then I filmed afterwards. So let's roll that footage. Okay, so it's day 2. Just pretty much finished up everything that needs to be done. There's a little block off plates on the dash. I need to go in still, but wiring's all fixed up. Gary's just running out to go grab the key. He's gonna start this thing up here. I'll show you all the wiring now, what it looks like. So yeah, let's just.
Oh God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I'll get a light going here. You can see everything. So you see now everything is all tidied up. I moved that fuse panel all the way up over there. So now when you're looking in on the car, you don't see any wires. Cleaned up the one coming off the heater core, tied it against it. Everything's tied up. Same with the radio. Got that all clean. Did some in the trunk too, tidying it up, but it's looking really good, really clean. So now, like I said, these plates here got to go in. Gary's got a set of plates, so So this is when shit started to hit the fan. I know I said
Gary was going to go inside to grab the keys to start this thing up. Well, he wanted to make sure the thing started before, you know, the flatbed was going to come tomorrow to pick it up. Let's roll some footage.
Oh, the little light doesn't come on.
And the light's not coming on?
No.
So right away, Gary pointed out that his little dummy light wasn't going on, which his dummy light basically indicates that, okay, the car is ready to start. So that was problem number one.
That's a good one. You give it gas.
Did you hear that? Let me play it again. It barked. That right there, that little half second is what confused me for hours. Because if the motor barked like that, just that little bit, that means during that second, a cylinder tried to fire. That means everything was working. But it wasn't working because the car wasn't starting. The thing had fuel. I got paranoid real quick. I went under the dash. I checked everything I did, making sure everything's got power. Everything was working. I had no idea what was wrong. You know, the coil was even getting power. Like, I tested right to there. I had no idea what was going on. I spent probably about an hour or two after those clips there trying to figure out why this thing wouldn't start. I thought it was something I did. I really did. I thought, fuck, I moved all this wiring under the dash. I didn't try to start the car once throughout this whole process. I fucked up, right? I fucked up. I hate that. I hate fucking up. I was freaking out. Anyways, it was like 2:30 in the morning. Car wouldn't start. I checked everything I thought of. Gary was like, Thomas, go home. Get some sleep. Think it over. You know, it's got to be something. He was ready not to put the car in the car show, which was freaking me out. He spent $5,000, got the paint wet sanded and, you know, all prettied up, and it's not going to go to the show? No, it's not going to happen. So, calling sick next day for work. Came over to Gary's. I brought the old man with me. Checked everything through. Checked everything I did with the old man. Looked at this, looked at that. We thought, oh, you know what? Maybe it was the tach. Maybe I fucked up something with that because the tach goes right to the distributor, and, you know, that could ground, if that's grounded out, it would ground out the coil. And anyways, checked everything. During this time, when we're checking everything, we had the battery on a battery charger charging up, right? Because we're cranking this thing. So finally, just randomly, crank this thing over. It starts. It just starts. What the fuck? We didn't touch anything. So we turn it off. Try to start again. Well, it started. What the hell? Okay. You know, a couple minutes go by. We start looking at some more things. Try and start. It starts up again. What the fuck? We realized the alternator wasn't charging it. The alternator has a built-in safety that if it doesn't have enough volts, it won't let the ignition fire because it's HEI and it has, you know, stupid safeties and stuff in it. This entire time, the alternator has been dead. Car hasn't been charging, so the battery died. And the battery hasn't been on a charger. It's been sitting in the garage for a couple days. Fuck! So, got this thing all going. Didn't film a thing. Figured out it was the alternator. Tied up all the wiring because I cut everything back down to recheck it. Made sure it started still. Ran great. Wow. Wow. Something so simple can be such a headache. An alternator. But man, that was scary. Anyways, the car ran. The guys came, picked it up. I helped them load it on the trailer there. That company, really professional. They were, I forget the name, but here's their Instagram. I saw it on their truck. Just go check them out. They even put little chamois on the tires with their straps, so it didn't rub against the white walls and make them look dirty. They were really good. Got the car to the show. Had to drive it through. Gary actually let me drive it inside, which was also really fun. Never driven a car inside a convention center before, so that was new. All in all, end of the day, the car made it to the car show. It also won best coupe or something like that. Best modded coupe at the show. It was, man, Really cool experience. Won an award. All in all, there's some really cool cars there. I met Steve Darnell, the guy from Welder Up. Asked him, he gave me some advice on the way I wanted to cut my hood open for the tunnel ramp, so that was cool. Also saw a couple of the cars I really liked there. I love Gary's car. Don't get me wrong. I think Gary's car was the best one there, but a couple other really, really nice ones there. There was this 66 Charger. A lot of people don't like those cars, but I really love them. The full-length console and bucket seats, but it was a 66, 427, 4-speed, all factory original car. Like, numbers matching. Wow. Wow. That was a nice car. Same with, there is this 57 Bel Air convertible. Wow, that one was really nice. The interior, I mean, look at this thing. The interior was gorgeous. The paint was gorgeous. I love that tan on red. Wow. There was a 65 Impala there with an engine shave on it. That thing was really cool too. Except it only had a small block. But that thing was also gorgeous. Look at the paint on it. It was like, wow. Wow. There was this bitchin' gasser that was there. I love that thing too. Had that blown big block Chevy in there with iron heads. Wow, cool too. So many cool cars. Love the show. Would I ever do it again? Maybe with someone else's car. I don't know if I would ever want to put my car in the show. I don't think I could sit around for 3 days and talk to people. I would kind of go insane doing that. But, you know, if it was someone else's car like that, just basically the way I helped Gary out there, I'd do the same thing. Yeah, that part was enjoyable to me. Yeah, so that's my experience with World of Wheels car show, bringing Gary's car there. It won an award. Gorgeous car. Yeah, great experience. So thank you, Gary, for letting me tag along with you and endure this experience. It's a lot of fun. Learned a lot of lessons. Appreciate it. Everyone for watching this. If no one else watching this after this, whatever. If you are, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Give it gas.